don't have to believe everything you think. We've been programmed. Wake up.
So,
So we're going to talk about the December 7th Brother Polite versus ISUPK debate, right?
yes.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that? We paid to see that.
Yes, we did.
We paid for that a month in advance.
We waited, anticipated. We did.
We
I
went
think I
out.
bought it online on Sinetta TV, the Time Zone,
Town Zone.
Townzone.com.
Townzone.com.
Bought it from Sinetta.
This was a big deal for us because I used to be into the Hebrew faith a little bit, I guess. And I'm a big fan of Brother Polite and Saul Netter.
But we always been about Black Power, number one.
Always, yeah.
Then number two, we just got into learning about Kemet and ancient Kemet and the true history. Is what we call our story instead of his story. But anyway,
We were hyped up for this. We went out, we got snacks. It was like a fight night.
we made a homemade pizza, vegan homemade pizza.
Popcorn, chips.
No, we got popcorn on deck, kale chips. We're gonna have spinach chips. We was prepared.
But it didn't quite go that way, did it?
Well, let's just say I bought the ticket in November the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Happy. I was like, I can't wait.
And we were proud and supportive that it was going to people that we trusted and that we knew we were okay with the money going to a good cause.
Oh,
that
yeah.
made us feel comfortable.
Yeah, we giving the money to a bruh, man. So I'm like, cool. We don't got to give the money to no white person or nothing. It's going straight to Sonetta. We watch his videos all the time, so why not?
All the time.
Almost all the time, almost every day, faithfully, really. Old videos, new videos, whatever. So, especially when the new video come out. But, all right.
As a matter of fact, baby, just be real. That's how we start our day. Like, you know how most people, they wake up and they get ready for work. They have their breakfast and they might grab a newspaper.
A lot of people may listen to a talk show.
He turned on Sarnetta TV.
I turn on Sarnetta TV. As soon as I wake up, get ready for work, eating a bowl of cereal or some breakfast my wife prepared for me. So, come December the 7th, I'm like, cool, because Sinetta did say they're supposed to have some new camera equipment. It's supposed to be high tech. It's supposed to be all of this stuff. So I'm thinking, I'm just gonna watch regular television or something. That's where my mind go. Mm-hmm. I'm like, it's finna be like some maybe some URL TV type stuff. Some smack battles or something like that type of camera equipment.
Especially considering when you look at the quality of the videos that he uploads to YouTube,
those are cool. It seemed like those got better and better and better. Like,
right. So you would assume that it would be the same quality or even better.
Similar.
But let's just cut to the chase. The quality was crappy.
Sucked a lot.
Yeah.
As soon as I turned it on, I was pissed. You was at the grocery store getting all the snacks for the debate.
Yeah. That's how big it was.
I didn't even want to call my wife to tell her that it was on because I was so disappointed. Usually I would tell my wife to hurry up, babe. Hurry up back home. But I was so disappointed. I didn't want her to be disappointed. I just waited till she came home and like, babe.
You was like, babe,
you're going to be pissed.
You're going to be mad. And the first thing I thought when you said that, I was like, something happened and it's not streaming at all. And he was like, no, but the quality is crappy. And I was like, oh. That's nothing. At least, something's better than nothing. But when I saw that, I don't know. So Netta got
some explaining to do.
Actually, a lot of and there was a little
chat room.
A chat room where people could talk during the debate, and a lot of people were saying, that a good way that he could make it up to us is to just send us a free DVD because he turns all his videos into DVDs and he sells them. And I can't say that I disagree with that sentiment. That would be cool. Because I paid my money and I waited and I didn't really get to hear or see nothing. It was blurry and it was distorted, the sound.
You gotta think about it. It was like it was like 300 or 400 people in their group.
Yeah.
So everybody paid at least $20 to watch it.
Yeah.
That's some money that he got. That's over $10,000.
Yeah.
That's over $10,000 that he got. And
people didn't even get their money's worth.
The quality sucked. It was like a horrible bootleg movie because you could barely hear it. You could barely see the people. It was kind of like he filmed it or he streamed it with a flip cell phone that wasn't even high definition. So I'm like, man, he got some explaining to do. I don't even know if I could trust this dude with stream video as far as paying.
Let me tell you how I feel. Let's not go that far, because I think it would be very hypocritical of us to be such a fan of Sarnetta for so long, and then he makes one oopsie to be like, we're not supporting him anymore. Being the dude that I perceive Sarnetta to be, I'm pretty sure he's going to come out and apologize, and he's going to give some type of compensation. Now, if he doesn't, then I'm not messing with him no more. No.
I almost contradicting, but it's okay. But
hey, I'm just making a point.
Good point, baby. Good point. But yeah, definitely some compensation, nonetheless, should be done. I'm sure after all that money, he's not gonna want to just give it back like that. So as far as compensation, such as the DVD, then I thought twice about that DVD. I'm like, if the DVD is anything like the live footage,
oh wow,
I don't want that.
Just give my money back.
Give me my money.
You're going to have over 400 people suing your ass for $20.
Straight up. But, it's one of those things where it's not non-refundable, So at the end of the day, you could lose respect for that if you don't please the fans somehow, because we're not only fans, we actually follow your movement.
And we support you.
We support you. You know what I'm saying? So how can we support you or something that you do if you're
not coming correct?
You let the people down. Yeah, you're not coming correct. You gotta come correct.
But
especially when it's about information that's given. That's supposed to be in like what everybody wanted to see, like most people wanted to see. Information that was given back and forth. A lot of the information is not or rarely given online or in a book, or maybe lots of it's in a book, but it's hard to find. But these brothers put all their hard work and time in these PowerPoints. Not only that they was giving it to the people in the room, they was also wanting to give it to the public outside the room. So with it not being projected the correct way,
yeah,
it's very disappointing.
And that takes me to another point, just about what you said. These brothers wanting to give it to the people in the room and outside the room. I'm pretty sure if Brother Polite wasn't notified of the issues during the debate, when he finds out afterwards, I'm pretty sure he's gonna feel a certain way about the streaming not going well.
I mean, like, even if so, like, I don't know if Sarnetta was actually streaming, what he was I don't know if he was able to see what he was doing or anything. I don't know. Like, something should have been fixed. Something should have been said, because it was points where he was right in front of the camera. He could have said something, and he could have said, I apologize or something, but someone should have been there streaming, or someone should have been looking to see if everything is correct for the audience.
Yeah. Well, anyway, enough about that. This is not a jump on Sarnetta because the debate audio sucked video. This is about the debate, and I am too, but as bad as the picture was and as distorted as it sounded, and for the half of it that we did get to see based on technical difficulties and going in and out of the room, we did get to see a little bit of it. You were busy watching football, but you because of the quality.
Yeah,
you just kind of gave up. But I saw a little bit and you heard a little bit. So, okay, Sarnetta, we want free DVDs or we want the money back. All right, thank you. We appreciate it. Black love
or some type of
Black
conversation.
Power family.
Some type of conversation.
Anyway, based on the debate itself, how do you think it went?
From what I caught, I thought Polite opened the show up strong. You know what I mean? I kind of forget what he said now, but I probably remember it later. But he said a lot of strong things. And what I got from the Hebrew Israelite guy was like I said earlier, it was kind of like repetitive with a lot of things he said. A lot of things he said on camera already. It was also said with a PowerPoint presentation. Not only to mention that he was showing some vulgar pictures.
Mhm.
You know, somebody in the chat group was saying he pulled a SETI
Mhm.
because SETI did the same thing.
Showing graphic images, trying to shock the people.
Yeah,
I mean, let me just slide this. And he was talking about what Africans do, how disgusting they were. And somebody was in the chat room and they were saying that those weren't even African.
that's not traditional African things. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how old those pictures was. Number one, they
Mm-hmm.
wasn't black and white. So, granted, there was probably something that was took the '90s on up. You know what I'm
And
saying?
we couldn't really see them. The
So,
pictures would.
so granted, that's not the
It was
true.
bad.
That's not the traditional, you know, African ways. Especially if the picture is in color. You know, so I mean, other than that, he did show some pictures you didn't see, babe. He
Mm-hmm.
just showed some pictures of some regular females, like in the club or
I
walking
saw
around
that.
with.
Yeah.
Okay, so he showed them, and we were just telling them to cover it up. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so of course that's obvious. You know, if you walking outside and you showing like stuff that everybody don't need to see, yeah, maybe you should cover up. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
that's granted.
just because you take that type of that morality and it's in the Bible doesn't validate the Bible. Let me give my take on it, or do you want me to do
Go
that?
ahead, babe.
Okay, this is how I feel about the debate. Brother Polite won, hands down, because first of all, Brother Polite went first. Am I wrong?
Yeah, he went
He
first.
went first, and he had a lot of points that he was trying to make, and in those points, he was challenging. In my opinion, he was saying things that the Hebrew Israelites, or more specifically the ISUPK, would say or what they would claim. And so he would point that out, and he would say, "Well, how can you say this when I have this?" And so in that instance, you're supposed to get on stage and you're supposed to refute that. You're supposed to defend yourself. It is my opinion, and you can ask anybody who was in that room, that ISUPK, when they got their turn on stage, they didn't even go into mentioning anything Brother Polite said. They went to talking about the same old things that they talk about when they're yelling at people on the street corner about women need to cover themselves up, and what the Lord say, and what the Most High, and about the white man's book. In my opinion, they didn't say anything in response to what Brother Polite was saying. It was like Brother Polite was indirectly asking them questions, and they didn't answer any of
the
them.
point was to prove.
That was round one.
Yeah, well, the point was to prove the overall point was to prove is the Bible plagiarized. Number one, and number two, it's the black woman God.
Yeah. With that being said, Brother Polite won.
Yeah, with that being said, Polite did win.
Because he went in on both of those things, and they didn't. They just went into the Bible, reading the scriptures as they
and
usually
saying
do.
the repetitive things. It's almost like they was trying to recruit, but they wasn't trying to stick to the subject matter at all. You know, so they were saying the same things over and over again.
And that's just our opinion. And I'm not being biased. Like I told my husband right after the debate went off, if the ISUPK brothers would have came in a manner of trying to answer the question and trying to rebuttal what Brother Polite said, I would have paid close attention to see what information they were bringing. But when I noticed that they were not answering the questions and they were just repeating the things that they say on street corners every day that I've heard, it wasn't interesting.
It almost seemed like the Hebrew Israelite brother just wanted to keep his audience. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't directly answer any of the questions.
Or indirectly answer them. He didn't answer them at all, babe.
Well, he didn't. He didn't. He just wanted to keep his audience. He just wanted to keep whatever money that he make off of that out of his religion, if I could call it that way. ISUBK people to keep going. You know what I'm saying? So,
let me put it to you this way. I listen to Brother Polite. I watch him a lot.
Yeah.
In this debate tonight, Brother Polite said things that I've heard him say before, and he also said things that I've never heard before from him or anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
ISUPK, said the same stuff that I always hear them say. Brother Polite won. He brought out information and he proved his information. And I'm sorry, not Brother Polite. ISUPK didn't even touch bases on what he said.
Yeah. So, I mean, what can they learn from this? Like, what can the people learn from this? You know, is the Hebrew Israelite people still going to be biased? I mean, it's the brother polite, the people that follow New Covenant going to be biased, or no? To me, I think as long as the people's ears wasn't closed towards anyone's side of the story, I think planting the seed is the best thing for everyone. You know, long as someone could plant some type of seed in everyone's mind, as far as any type of belief or any type of thinking, you know, like Polite did or the Hebrew Israelite brother did. Like, for that seed to grow later down the line, you know, you never know what a person could become at the end of the day. Maybe a person could leave the Hebrew Israelites to follow Brother Polite or to have their own type of idealization as far as what they want to do with their life or what they want to follow or, you know, what type of leader they want to be. You know, I think everyone should learn from them both and take what they can to be their own man or woman in this life.
And speaking about what the people get from it, Brother Polite said something weeks before this debate. He was saying that we need to give the audience more credit, meaning we need to give them more credit as far as them having common sense. You know, I think Sarnetta was the one who brought up, or maybe I'm wrong. Somebody was saying something about, you know, the people who side with the Hebrews are going to be biased and stubborn and so forth. You know, New Covenant and Brother Polite was like, we need to give them more credit than that. People with common sense are going to hear and know the truth. And I think I was talking about I came in the kitchen by you and I asked you. I said, "Is just because something makes sense doesn't make it true, right?" And you did an example and you said no. So I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, you gave me the Santa Claus thing, and give me the Santa Claus thing again.
I said, okay. Doesn't it make sense? Does it not make sense that if you're a good kid, that on Christmas you're gonna get toys, but if you're bad, you won't get any toys because you're bad? Does that not make sense?
And I told you, yes, that makes perfect sense.
But is that a true story?
Is it the true story?
Is that a true story that Santa Claus gonna come and give you cola gifts?
No.
All right, exactly. So the Bible is the same way. The Bible makes a lot of sense because when I subscribe to the Hebrew way of thinking, I subscribe to it because it made perfect sense. The curses in the book of Deuteronomy and the things that are going on today lined up perfectly with the Bible. It made sense. But like I told my husband, when you talk about any lie, I mean any lie, when you say my shoes are blue and they're really red, any lie. I was at the club when you were really with another man, any lie. It has to make sense for it to work. If a lie didn't make sense, then it would not work. So therefore, the Bible has to make sense, or it would not work, and it's working on our people hard.
Think about it. You have to tell the truth to tell a lie. You know what I mean? That's why they call it a white lie, because that's exactly what they have done. White people or pink people, whatever you want to call them, they've been doing that ever since the beginning of this land that we're on, and even so on. Still doing it to this day. You know, especially with the Bible, especially with other texts, even school texts. We don't even have to talk about the Bible. We can talk about school. We can talk about all the lies that's in there. A lot of the technology is not started from white men or European men, you know, but yet they say civilization and these technologies started when they came to America, which doesn't make any sense. What about the rest of the land? You know, what about China? You know, they for some reason they're so high tech out there. You know, what about these other lands? What about Germany? What about Africa? What about here and there? What do they make? So why are we teaching about the so-called people that came to America that made these inventions. It's a lot of lies. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of lies out here.
See,
But you gotta tell the truth.
my thing is this. Polite said we need to give the people more credit for having common sense.
Yeah.
If you watch the live stream of the debate, people were still coming away from that saying that Polite got crushed, and I just found it just remarkable and just unbelievable because lies versus truth. I mean, it's no contest. I mean, the lies are gonna lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I said in the comment box, I told everybody, I was like, look, if you guys just look up a brother's name, Ray Hagans, and Ashrock Kwesi, I was like, plus if you add in the stuff that Brother Polite talks about, you don't even need to. Brother Ashrock Kwesi and Ray Hagans, their information stands alone by itself, separately, not together. But I just put them together.
I always tell the brother, Dr. Clark.
Oh, Dr. Clark, and who else? Dr. Layla Africa, like these wonderful people.
There's so many people.
Just use common sense and facts.
And they keep on calling it Egyptologists or something.
Hebrew Israelites are stuck on what is faith, I guess. They say, okay, they don't want to hear the facts. They say it doesn't matter because this is the Bible. God said this, right? It doesn't matter what you say over there. God said this, man. Well, I have a question for the Hebrew Israelites. You said, okay, we are the Jews, right? Show me proof of that. You pull out the Bible because God said so. Okay, we've gotten that far. Show me proof that God said that. And don't say because it's in the Bible. I need proof that God said that.
They're going to pull out another book.
You going to pull out another scripture? You going to pull out another scripture?
Read. So, I mean, they say it's a lot of lies out there. They say, they found Jesus land in wherever they said. We saw commercials on there. They found this, they found that. We found proof that Jesus was here. We found proof that Moses was over here.
They had a damn tomb with a door with a sign on it that said Jesus was here or Jesus is not here because he's not in right now because he's risen. If you go to somebody's tombstone, the body's supposed to be in there. Their bones, dust, ashes, whatever they were in there. Why is it that on Jesus' tomb there's a sign on his door saying sorry he's not here right now because he is risen? And people accept that. I saw that on a commercial.
People. At the end of the day, people make sense what they want to make sense. You know what I'm saying? It could be a lie, just like a woman or a man in a relationship. They can notice certain things in the beginning, but they can be like, oh, he or she is so cute or she is so sexy.
They want to look past the things that they're noticing.
Look past that. It's like,
then later on in a relationship,
she do got a big booty, or she do cook good, so I'm gonna just let that slide.
Be like, I know he smoke crack every once in a while, but he treat me well.
Nah, he be like he did have the little holes in his arms.
But he got a good personality.
He don't do crack.
And then 6 months down the line, when you find shit missing out your purse, you gonna be like,
maybe
I never seen it coming.
People act stupid.
They want to look over certain things to get to certain things.
So I believe
religion feels good.
Not to shoot guns at people, but I believe that's what the Hebrew Israelite does. You know what I'm saying? They're following. They don't look at the whole thing and be like, I'm gonna just let that.
Baby, they can't. I'm trying to tell you what the faith believes. They believe that anything that goes against that book is against God because God said, like I said a minute ago, prove to me that God said it. And you can't prove to me with the Bible that God said it because you have to prove to me that whatever is in the Bible is by God. And the word, the book, the Bible, doesn't even have the word Bible in it. So how can you prove to me that anything in the Bible is by God with the Bible? You understand what I'm saying?
God didn't write anything in there. It was wrote by people at the end of the day.
If you want to prove...
Jesus didn't write nothing.
God
didn't write nothing himself. People wrote it. So they say don't trust the people, but people wrote the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to somebody one day. I was like, so what if But what if I
People
told
want
you?
to act like they don't know Shakespeare wrote the Bible.
I was like, what if I told you that God talked to me to make another book of the Bible?
Yes, my son.
Would you believe me? Person said no. There's no way, because I was like, well, why do you believe that the people that wrote this Bible, God talked to them?
John, Jacob, Jingle, Hammersmith, all of them.
Baby.
What? They could believe them, all of them, baby.
So it just doesn't make sense at the end of the day. Polite one, and it's not even about that. It's just about the truth
It's about the truth
versus the lie. Truth always wins.
Please. Well, yeah, okay. Not being biased, Brother Polite won because he just overall had a better presentation. If you follow the Hebrew Israelite faith and you feel otherwise, that's just because you're loyal.
And it's not Egyptology. It's just plain old.
It's history. It's truth.
It's just the truth.
If you break down the word Egyptology, etymology will show you that the suffix ology means the study of. That's all it means when you attach ology to any word. You're talking about the study of. Like dishology would be the study of dishes. And Egypt is the only place that has its own little. There's not Russiology or Europology. So why is the study of Egypt so separated into its own little thing? Egypt is history. European history is history. So why can't it just be the study of history? Just because you focus in on one period at a certain point in your life doesn't mean that you are Egyptologist. What does that mean? They make that word sound like it's negative, like, oh, you an Egyptologist.
Like it's some type of witchcraft or something.
Exactly.
You know, but it's just history.
I study Africa, and I'm an Africantologist. They haven't made that up.
I guess so.
And for people who don't know, Egypt is in Africa.
Are you a Jesus-tologist?
Yeah.
Yahshua challenges? I mean, whatever.
You study the Bible. They're a Bibologist.
All right, so what is the last thing you want to say to bring it to a close?
The last thing I want to say to bring it to a close?
Yeah.
Sarnetta, you got some splaining to do. And I love all black people. Peace.
Love bedroom conversations.
I love my husband.
Love my wife.
Nah, y'all can't see that.